NBC 15 News at 11 starts now.
Now at 11, look at that. A crash on the Beltline stalls this morning's commute.
Plus, an attack at a popular tourist site in northern Africa leaves more than a dozen tourists dead.
And another fraternity is under investigation after their secret Facebook page was uncovered. Good morning, everyone. I'm Christine Belport.
And I'm Ashley Matthews. That wind has calmed down. The sun is shining. It's a pretty nice day out there for our Wednesday.
Let's take a look at what the rest of the day has to bring. Here is Chief Meteorologist Charlie Shortino. Hey, Charlie.
Hello, we have some sunshine out there right now, at least partial sunshine, but I think we're going to have more clouds as we move through the afternoon hours. 46 degrees by 2 p.m., 47 at 4. That'll be the high for the day. As you can see, pretty light winds. We're light right now. Westerly winds around 5 miles per hour at 2 and 4 p.m. Gradual warming trend is expected to continue. We'll be a little bit warmer tomorrow and even more so on Friday, and I'll have that forecast for you coming up.
Charlie, thank you. New at 11 traffic is moving along the westbound Beltline again after a 3-vehicle crash tied up morning commuters. Here's a live look at traffic from our Beltline. Skycam seems to be moving just fine at this hour, but here's what it looked like earlier this morning. 2 lanes were closed for just over an hour. The crash happened around 8 near Whitney Way. Madison police tell us a semi hit the back end of a pickup truck, and the truck rear-ended a car. At least one person was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
An aide to Governor Scott Walker has quit after she made controversial comments on Twitter. Walker's team recently tapped Liz Mayer to lead online communication efforts. Well, the veteran Republican strategist wrote on Twitter that, quote, "The sooner we remove Iowa's front-running status, the better off American politics and policy will be." Iowa GOP Chairman Jeff Kaufman told the Associated Press, quote, "I'd send her packing." Mark quit late last night. Around the world now, at least 19 people are dead after gunmen attacked a museum in Tunisia's capital. 17 of the dead are tourists. 24 others were also injured. There were multiple shooters involved. 2 were later killed by security forces. 1 security officer also died. Several other gunmen are still on the loose. Officials say it was the worst attack on a tourist site in Tunisia in years. And it comes as the country is trying to establish democracy and keep Islamic extremists at bay.
Police in Japan are investigating multiple death threats made to U.S. Ambassador to Japan, Caroline Kennedy. NBC's Katie Tur reports.
All seemed normal with Ambassador Caroline Kennedy today. She gave a lecture at a university in Tokyo. But the Associated Press reports Japanese police are investigating death threats against her. Japanese media say the calls were made to the U.S. Embassy and came from somebody speaking English. They are looking into the possibility the person might be trying to blackmail the 57-year-old mother and diplomat. The U.S. Embassy did not have a comment, but threats like this against U.S. politicians and diplomats are not uncommon.
I'm bleeding here. I'm bleeding here.
Still, the reports come on the heels of the attack on U.S. Ambassador Mark Lippert in South Korea earlier this month. A Korean national testified he knifed Lippert because of his symbolic representation of the United States. Kennedy has been the ambassador to Japan for just over a year. The Associated Press reports authorities believe the threats made to her are similar to ones targeting the U.S. Consul General in Okinawa, home to 50,000 U.S. troops. Adding to the heightened anxiety, Michelle Obama, who landed in Tokyo this morning. The First Lady is kicking off her educational tour, promoting schooling for girls. Other than the suspected blackmailing, no other motive is known right now. Now, anyone who follows international and even domestic politics closely knows that, unfortunately, these sort of threats are not uncommon. But given the attack on Mark Lippert, who we should say was okay, these threats and potential growing anti-Americanism are being looked at quite closely. Katie Tur, NBC News, London.
In other news, commuters about 90 minutes east of Toronto, Canada, had a rough drive this morning after a pileup involving at least 50 vehicles closed down a major highway. Several lanes were shut down after that incident. Police say about 40 tractor trailers and a number of smaller vehicles crashed due to poor driving conditions. Only 4 people were said to be injured. None of the injuries were life-threatening.
Around the nation now, a suspicious letter addressed to the White House will undergo a third round of testing to determine if it contains cyanide. Secret Service reports initial testing was negative, but a second chemical test done yesterday returned a possible positive for cyanide. The letter was flagged at the White House mail screening facility Monday. It is not on the White House grounds, by the way. Well, more disturbing allegations on a college campus.
A Penn State fraternity is suspended, and police are investigating a secret Facebook page filled with offensive photos. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez reports.
This morning, Penn State is the latest campus dealing with a firestorm as police investigate allegations of a fraternity's bad behavior. Kappa Delta Rho is now suspended for 1 year after pictures of nude and apparently unconscious women were uncovered on 2 private Facebook pages that police say were secretly set up by the fraternity.
It's intolerable, it's not right, it's despicable acts, and if you're engaging in that type of behavior, you better rip that page out of your book because it's not acceptable.
This search warrant reveals the first page was titled Covert Business Transactions. It was shut down when one of the women spotted a topless picture of herself on a page accidentally left open by a fraternity member. Then, according to a former member who blew the whistle, a second page titled 2.0 was set up. Police say it included more sexually explicit photos, drug sales, and hazing. A spokesman for Penn State called it appalling and offensive.
We're working through our process to determine which individuals may have been involved.
It's the latest in a string of negative headlines for fraternities. At the University of Michigan, the Sigma Alpha Mu chapter has been disbanded by its national headquarters after members trashed a ski lodge in January, causing hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage. And after this video of a racist chant from the University of Oklahoma went viral last week, today Sigma Alpha Epsilon is announcing what it calls an extensive review of all of its chapters nationwide.
Now that we have a lot of examples of really bad behavior going on in secret and a few heroes willing to rat out their frat brothers, I think all fraternities are going to be a lot more reticent to engage in the behavior.
And that was Gabe Gutierrez reporting.
Kappa Delta Rho National Headquarters says it will fully cooperate with investigators by law enforcement and the university. Penn State says they will have an opportunity to appeal that suspension.